Welcome back to the Gunn Show, my friends. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have tuned in for the first time ever and you showed up for muscles or weapons, I don't have either of those. This is about the last name Gunn, and this is about manufacturing, all the things that are made around us in an invisible industry, but we're going to make it visible, and I have some great guests with me today. But before we get to that, I just want to mention this is an MTDCNC production. I have to thank our sponsors, which, well, one of them may or may not be here today. I guess I gave something away just then, didn't I? Anyway, let's thank our sponsors, AMT, IMTS, EBITDA Growth Systems, Shop Floor Coffee, and the American Precision Museum. We have a few games today, actually, as well, so stick around to the end. We're going to do Two Truths and a Lie, which one of my guests is fantastic at if you've seen some of my other podcasts. Would You Rather, Rapid Fire, and If I Were. I'm going to pick about 3 of those, so a lot of fun games at the end. Without any further ado, let's put your hands together, please, and thank you. We can hear you through the interweb. We can hear you, I promise. If you clap good enough, we will be able to hear you. So please welcome my dear friends, Bonnie and MC, and we got Dr. Love here today as well. We can hear the clapping. All right, for those of you who join into this show a lot, we do typically a bad joke of the day. And as much as Christian loves my terrible, terrible jokes, we're going to replace that for the second half of the season of the VIP edition with a gratitude and a pet peeve. So we're going to go around this table and just show one piece of gratitude and one pet peeve. So I'll go first. I've already said mine before we hit record, so they already know what I'm going to say. But my gratitude is that these folks are here, that they've come all the way to Florida to spend time to share their story, to talk IMTS today, to get everyone excited about 2024 and what's going to be on the showroom floor, as well as all the other things around it. My pet peeve, because I fly so often, and if your folks out there are listening that don't fly so often, when that bell goes off when the plane lands, don't run to the front of the plane. You have to wait in line, please and thank you. I'm going to start tripping people, and that's rude. I don't want to start tripping people, but I will. All right, that's my gratitude and pet peeve. Bonnie, can we slide over to you, and then we'll go to Mr. Dr. Lonnie Love. I'm gonna do that all day today. And MC, we'll finish up with you as well. Do you have a gratitude and a pet peeve? Welcome back to the Gunn Show, my friends. This is the VIP edition.
A gratitude. Well, I love that you have an IMTS gratitude and you appreciate us being here because that's awesome. But I appreciate you having us on. Like, we're so excited to come back and bring our special guest, Lonnie Love. Lonnie's awesome. I'm so excited that he said yes to come here with us. So I'm really grateful that you're here with us today.
Thank you. So it's good to be here.
I'm glad you're here. And then pet peeve. I don't know. So I just dropped my daughter off at college, and my daughter said, "Mom," she said it to her dad, "Is Mom gonna be okay?" She's my youngest, and I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." So I left my house today. I fell down, hit the garage step, hit the refrigerator.
Oh no.
I thought I was going to drive to the airport, then realized I need to take an Uber because I'm coming back to a different airport. So I was like, maybe I'm not okay.
And you tripped twice in the airport.
It's not a pet peeve, but it's like just take your time, slow down. Life is going to come at you as it comes.
It's a good reminder.
That's like my, just take care of yourself.
And it explains a lot.
And how is your head right now?
I'm good. My hip and my ankle are a little, because I fell down 2 steps. My back hat saved me. My computer still works.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It was a day.
It is a day.
But I got here.
I'm so happy you're here. Lonnie, do you got a couple for us?
Yeah. So this is going to sound corny, but my gratitude is my wife.
That's a good one.
She actually let me kind of pick up at the last part of my career and move to a different part of the country and start over for fun. So I'm really grateful for her. A pet peeve is crap on the highway. I had all of us travel, and I was going to Chicago earlier, last week, and blew out a tire. But that led to a gratitude in that blew out a tire, had 30 minutes to get to the airport, and a DOT guy pulled over and changed my tire for me.
Nice.
So it's gratitude, peeve, gratitude,
that
all
works.
Woven together.
It'd be awesome if all of our pet peeves could turn into gratitude.
Absolutely.
Lessons and make us better.
Yeah, it was like a Zen moment because I was starting to get pissed. I was like, shit, and some guy pulls up and helps take care of me. So. And
shout out to the wife. Well done there.
Amen.
Yeah,
cool.
Very well done. MC, what do we have from you?
Let's see. For gratitude, I'm kind of gonna dovetail off of what you said. I would say all of you and everyone in manufacturing. I've said this before, but I've only been in manufacturing technology for 3 years, and from day one, it's been the people are amazing and have just welcomed me and accepted me in. And Lonnie Love is one of Bonnie, of course. And then Lonnie Love, I remember we have a video podcast with Lonnie Love.
We usually talk
Tom
about
Curtis.
aliens, you know.
We can do that today if you want to
Kind of
segue
have a
out.
thing for aliens. And we had a first call, and I kind of took this over. It came from Bonnie created it for Spark in 2020, and then when I came on board in 2021, and I got on a call with Dr. Lonnie Love and Dr. Tom Curtis. I mean, I didn't know what to say at all. I think I just would laugh to try and keep the conversation
Yeah.
going. And they accepted me immediately. So gratitude for all of you and then everyone in the
That's a good
industry.
laugh.
Thanks.
You're
I
easy to
appreciate-
accept.
I appreciate that.
She is.
I'll do it a lot. Thank you. My pet peeve, and Bonnie knows this a lot. Lonnie a little bit. You. My pet peeve are people that are late. It just drives me crazy.
And you were early today.
I'm kidding because I'm late all the time. And I'm turning that into a positive because there are a lot of articles that say that people who are late are actually more optimistic than others.
It was written by
come
someone
on.
who turned the article in late.
That's what our former president, Ski Snowboard, said. I don't believe it. It's written by the same people that say people who cuss are very smart.
Oh man, I must be like Einstein.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of Reuters has a piece, Nation. All
Can
of
you
them.
send that to my wife?
I will.
He won't believe it anyway.
She won't believe it. She goes, "This is bullshit."
Fake news. Call it fake news. All right, we're going to get into some questions. We're going to get into IMTS. We're here to talk about that. We're stoked about it. We're just a couple of weeks away, which when this publishes will probably just be a couple of days away, which would be perfect timing. But before we get into the IMTS part, are there any toasts that you guys would like to give as we're all sipping our beverage of choice? We have bourbon for Lonnie. We have a tequila for MC and Bonnie, and I'm drinking a scotch. So anyone with a cheers that they would like to give for either the moment, the day, the occasion, the life, whatever you want.
I'm going to give a cheer to Peter Eelman. It's
Hey!
Yes.
going to be his last IMTS as the head of the show.
Oh my goodness.
And because he's retiring. And MC and I were talking about it today where I think he's excited to tell people that I'm finally, letting it go. And
Wow.
so I
Wow.
cheer to Peter, a successful IMTS. He brought it back after COVID, and he's led the team to another amazing IMTS that's going to happen in just a few weeks.
Bonnie, it's almost like you've done this podcasting thing before.
good.
You're
I got
coming with the answers this time, I tell you. Lonnie, do you have one,
Oh,
buddy?
yeah, I do. To these two.
I love it.
They're
I love it.
absolutely a
Thank
joy
you.
to work with and have been so much fun. So really appreciate both of them. So cheers.
MC, they've created. Can you live up to those
Gonna
two?
cry.
I'm trying to think. Oh wait, I gotta sip after the cheers.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and talk while you do that. Yep.
Cheers to cheers to Peter Eelman for giving me a chance. But that's about me more. But cheers,
Cheers to you, MC.
cheers to manufacturing technology at IMTS.
Amen.
All right, well, cheers to that. Okay. Got to make noise. I heard a rumor. That's why, and definitely somebody will correct me. I think I've even brought this up before on the show. But when I was in Japan, the culinary respectful thing to do when you have udon noodles, when you have your soup, is right, and that's showing the chef that you like their food. And I was told that it was because before TV was available and all you had was radio, that how do you show that something is delicious? And it just became a cultural thing. Now, I was told that in Japan. I hope they weren't trying to trick me. It kind of made sense. I've repeated it quite a few times now. So I hope it's okay. But let's talk IMTS. The most important thing here today, we're doing it on purpose. Lonnie, I'm actually going to start with you because I've had MC and Bonnie. This is third time's a charm with them, and I love having them here. But they were so stoked today. We have a surprise guest. You're going to love him so much. He's been with IMTS for so long. I got to learn a little bit, again, before we pressed record, about some of what you've participated in and created. I would love to hear some of those stories of the past, as well as what we're excited about for the one coming up.
Yeah, no problem. I got to know these guys, especially Bonnie, back in 2014. Actually, in 2013. So I was at Oak Ridge, working in the manufacturing demonstration facility, and we were developing this whole new process, large-scale composite printing. At that point in time, biggest things you could print.
About what year was this, Lonnie?
This was 2013.
Okay.
And we started in 2013, and the biggest thing you could print was about the size of a coffee cup, maybe a little bit bigger. And we had this audacious idea of, well, let's just change it. Let's just go for the gusto, and let's make things like as big as a car. and real fast.
From cup to car.
Cup to car.
Okay.
C to C, right? I mean, you're going a completely different game. And we struggled at first and started getting some good parts, and we're making things. We were really targeting tooling. And then in January 2014, everything changed. We had two companies come visit. The first was Rick Neff from Cincinnati Incorporated. He saw what we were doing, and he's like, "Hey, we should commercialize this. We could make a product out of this." It was like, "Great." And then the second was Jay Rogers from Local Motors, and he came in to look at tooling, and we're talking about it. He's a real sharp guy, and we're talking, and he's listening, and he's asking questions. And as he's leaving, he turns, he goes, "Hey, you think you could print a car?" "Oh, yeah, sure, why not?" Didn't even think anything about it. 2 weeks later, I get a call.
A real size car,
real size car, real size car, drivable, right? Full scale.
You think you could do that?
Sure, why not? What the hell? And next thing I know, he calls up 2 weeks later and he goes, "Hey, I signed us up to print a car live at IMTS." I was like, "When?" He goes, "In September." I was like, "What year?" He goes, "This year." And this is January, like 9 months. This is like a baby. We're going to birth a baby here, It's like, holy cow. And it was awesome.
So you have 9 months to do what's never been done before.
Never been done before.
Perfect.
And it was just a lab scale system, but it was partnerships. The partnerships were absolutely awesome. Rick in Cincinnati, we went up to Cincinnati. A colleague of mine, Craig Blue, he and I went up to Cincinnati to see their capabilities. And Rick turns on this laser cutting machine, and it is zipping. It's like 20 feet. It could cut metal 20 feet long, 8 feet wide. It moves at just incredible speeds. And he turns it on, it's zipping around. I turn to my buddy Craig, I was like, "I want it. I got it. We can actually make this into a big ass printer," right? And so sign a agreement with them. We go out to Local Motors and go meet Jay, and he's got this rally fighter, this really cool car. We're in the back of his plant, just driving this car around, jumping and jumping ramps and just crazy stuff. And it was like, these guys know what they're doing. We could actually pull this off. But I will say, the very first good print we did was on the showroom floor.
No,
it was
it really?
Down. We were making changes on the machine the day before.
You were down to the wire.
Down to the wire, but
with no proof that it was actually doable.
None. No, we were like, it was like, I'm either going to get a raise or get fired. One or the other is going to happen. It's going to be a good day or a bad day.
And it was on Bonnie.
Oh,
she brought it in.
Yeah, she brought it in.
I was the lead on it from AMT side.
And I had one of my senior engineers going, "Lonnie, look me in the eye. We're not going to print a car. We're not going to print a car." It's like, it's okay. If we don't print a car, we'll print chairs. We'll figure it out, but we're going to try. And that really kind of was a signature for me. That was like, this is how we have to be doing things. We have to take great risk. I watch Elon Musk and SpaceX. It's like, we all need to be doing that kind of stuff. Take some huge risks. We're going to fail. We failed a lot along the way, but it birthed the whole industry. It created a whole new industry. So that was a blast. IMTS in 2014 was just absolutely a rush. I remember afterwards, somebody came up to me. They go, "Well, how's it feel?" And I was like, this is for a guy. I was like, gosh, I feel like I just had a baby, but I'm ready to get pregnant again. It was so much fun. And that's what, to me, I fell in love with IMTS. It's just this audacious, crazy environment. Companies talking to each other, everybody looking at how can we push manufacturing forward. So it was a real rush.
Yeah, I've got to come back to you because I have a ton more questions, and you're the star guest today with these ladies being on here before, but I don't want to, for us two to hog all the time, so I'm going to bounce around a little bit as well. We'll come back. Bonnie, what are you most excited about for the one coming up? I mean, we're just, when this releases, just a couple of days away. Yeah. And if somebody's listening right now and they go, "Well, I'm on the fence about visiting," well, what would push them over the fence to go and say yes?
Oh, I mean, I think it's like every IMTS. It's like we just had the Olympics, which is always a great example. It's the Olympics of manufacturing. We have the Emerging Technology Center again, which is where we did the 3D printed car, and which we've always done something really unique and different. And this year it's the same thing. It's unique. It's different. Oak Ridge is coming with this whole new hybrid cell with a machining center and 9 other partners. Again, it's this huge project, never before seen. Working in a research lab, working with industry, and we're releasing it at IMTS. So coming to see that. And then like that's just amazing. Plus, there's other thing in the ETC, but it's also like, and MC can talk to it later. We have 4 stages with like top leading thought leadership, manufacturing leaders speaking. We've got Microsoft involved with IMTS on a major scale for the first time. AWS, Google Cloud, like that's where manufacturing's changing, and to come and see how is it changing with the automation. And we have they all want to talk and tell their stories. We've got thought leadership. We have technical on the smaller stages. So, the exhibitors they always bring their best. And that's always what is the most important thing about IMTS, the exhibitors and walking around and talking to people, which is what Lonnie was talking about with, partnerships and stuff like that. That's where it's all created ideas. But there's also all these like just other things that are just floating around if you just walk around. And it's just all so exciting.
I agree. If I am a first time or even second or third time visitor of IMTS, you just mentioned a whole bunch of areas that I might miss if I'm not fully paying attention, because maybe I'm going to invest in a machine or some products or some automation or whatever technology is going to improve my shop, but I might accidentally miss one of the speakers that I need to pay attention to. What's the best way for me to truly plan my trip and schedule out my day, especially if I'm there for a day or two versus the full 6 days?
Yeah, so we talk about the My Show Planner a lot. You just have to log in. You can plan your visits with your exhibitors. You can actually like email them back and forth through the portal, which is helpful. But it also has all the conferences, all the stages, and the stages, all that content is free. And then your conferences, you have to pay. But it's like it gives you, if you're interested in a certain type of technology, or if you're looking to do something, you can easily find it by searching by the type of technology you're trying to find.
So you really can schedule out your day and say, I'm going to go to these booths, I'm going to listen to these speakers, and we're at 4 halls, and I mean, I think I looked it up the other day, over 1,200 exhibitors, 1,500 exhibitors.
Yeah,
it's a big number,
plus,
yeah, 1,600 plus. So someone should, and it used to be 2 weeks, right? And I heard a story that said it was 2 weeks when the interweb wasn't as popular as it was, and people would come in with their blueprints and literally sit down and figure out how to make a process work.
Yeah.
Now
they do it. They just have it on the
iPad.
They just have it on the iPad. Some people still have the piece of paper, the blueprints. But that's the thing where they come with, I got to solve a problem. I'm trying to find something and make it work. And that's what IMTS is all about. It's real manufacturing, trying to solve problems and then move things forward, like Lonnie was talking about.
I did research for my next opportunity because I wanted to write a book. And I came across this statistic that 70% of small business owners want to fund their retirement through the sale of their business, when in fact only 20% of them actually had a saleable business. And it broke my heart anticipating the fact that baby boomers, there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and in fact it was a train. And so I really wanted to do something about that. So I wrote a book called Scaling the Exit. The purpose of the book was to articulate a strategy for small to medium-sized business owners to increase the value of their business to the extent that they could actually sell it and fund their retirement. And that was really the first iteration of what became EBITDA Growth Systems and our brand promise, which is to double the valuation of small, medium-sized businesses, specifically in terms of an exit, but double their valuation, or we give them their money back.
Well, being here in South Florida, whenever you say solve a problem, instantly Vanilla Ice pops in my head. If there's a problem, I'll solve it. Anyway, MC, you're somewhat, to say new is unfair because it's been a few years now, but I would say at this table, been to
I love it.
the least amount of, so what I want to do, I want to grasp the audience out there that maybe hasn't been yet or has only been once. What do you get most excited about at IMTS when it's coming, when it's there, even when the week is over and you feel this vibration of happiness of all the technology that existed during that week and conversations? What do you get most excited about and invite others to come join you in that excitement?
Let's see. I'll say 3 things. And just that's a nod to a Carol Burnett pull my ear for Peter Yeilman because he likes 3s. So 3 things. So 1, people. You think people like people? I like people, and it's. I mean, as Lonnie and Bonnie were talking about the partnerships that come out of manufacturing technology, that come out of AMT and IMTS, and again, because I've been here 3 years, I like to set the bar, low. And, and in those 3 years, the amount of partnerships that I've been involved in and, have been introduced to from these 3 people and everyone I work with and people we meet in the industry, what they're doing and what we can all do together is just so exciting. And I think it's just, it energizes, invigorates, it makes this industry dynamic and different. And I was at an event last week, and someone was just talking about how in this industry, even though everyone, they're competitors, they're friends. They want to work with one another. And it's not like other industries where you're competing against one another. Yeah, you are competitors, but you're also stronger together. So that, to the technology, just seeing and hearing what's coming about for IMTS this year is going to knock your socks off. And it seems, that this industry is moving faster and faster, and what we're able to do and what's going on in defense these days and in space and, just having my son, experience it on the, the gaming side and then his technology side. I mean, we're all a part of that. So that's the second, and then I kind of did spoil it because I said the third, but the third is actually having my son come and see
that's
IMTS.
awesome.
Cool.
So he came.
How old is he?
He's 11 now.
Awesome.
So he came in 2022. My husband and Victor and Max came that Thursday night, and were there all day Friday, and some of Saturday, and then went to a Cubs game. And so he's so excited to come back. And he's ever since then, and ever since I started AMT, and I've said this before, he's all in on manufacturing. And his friends are now seeing, because our colleague Stephen Lamarca and I will go and present to his class. And his friends have now said, several of them say, your mom does the coolest job. And one's like, I want to, what else can you tell me? Because I'll bring some of them some stuff. And so having Max back again and seeing the changes over these last 2 years, he remembers. I mean, I've talked to Stacy Haramoto at FANUC, and she's already ready to teach him how to program a different robot this time. She taught him how to program a robot at FANUC in 2022. And the Student Summit is incredible. I mean, he spends, I don't know how long down there. And the people, the from, every person on the floor to the top executives, when Max has met them or been introduced to them, they just embrace him and embrace what this, next generation, future generations in workforce. And it's, so I'm excited for that.
When is he going to be there?
He'll be there. They fly in Thursday night, so he'll be there all day Friday. So Friday the 13th.
So yes, so tell your son to come see my presentation at 10 a.m. on
Friday?
Yes, Friday the 13th.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love for him to be there.
Oh, yes.
And he can even join me on stage if he wants to.
Oh my gosh. He would love
we
it.
really need kids like Max to be influencers, because we've spent a whole generation telling kids that there's nothing in manufacturing.
That was my generation. We didn't.
It's
that's what they told us.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's probably the most important industry, and so we actually need people like Max to be the influencers, to get their kids, their colleagues, their peers to go, this is actually really cool. There's a huge opportunity here.
Lonnie, do you want to go MC? Because I was going to actually segue from that influencer thing that you just brought
go
up,
ahead.
Lonnie. Yeah?
I was just going to say it's fun now watching movies with Max, movies, shows, and a robot pops on, one of the companies that we know are at the show, or some technology, and I'll say to him, hey, Max, look at that. I was like, you saw that, or, and it's just neat. So go ahead.
I agree.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Lonnie, what I want to ask you is, you brought up influencer, Max being an influencer, right? I would make the discussion that manufacturing is typically a traditional industry. We shake hands, we high five, we want to see, touch, feel, right? And I would say younger generation, as I'm getting older now, the younger generation is more of an online group of folks. They're doing a lot of video studies. I've done interviews with guys who've started their own machine shops, learning how to program from YouTube.
Yeah.
And
Love
this
it.
stuff exists. But you and I come from probably the generation where we saw it all evolving, and we kind of a mishmash between traditional and accepting the new.
Yeah.
How do you feel about and I know my opinion is a very positive one, but how do you feel about the trade shows like what AMT has done? As I think they're the leader in incorporating the modern influencers among all the trade shows I've been to. But how do you feel about that adaptation of bringing the old and the new together to bring that influencer status along with traditional manufacturing and marketing?
I think it's critical. I used to manage a lot of people, and one of the things I learned, I had this senior engineer, Randy Lind. I loved him. He knew he designed everything. He knew when a design was good, but he was based on traditional manufacturing. And then I would take a young college student and pair him up and watch the magic happen. I think that integration of generations, getting them to work together. You make the more senior engineer think creatively, and then the older senior engineer is providing rigor to the younger engineer. There's a balance there. That's absolutely magic. So I think, like you were talking about gaming industry and all this, I'm excited about where manufacturing is going because of that. If you gamify manufacturing, if we create tools to where we can be more creative and get faster in terms of developing systems and products, the manufacturing industry is going to explode. It's already exploding, but we got to gamify it. We got to look at these kids that are coming out of high school and college and really not go, oh, they don't know how to do this. No, we got to let them show us how to do it, right? But you have to have that balance. And that's where I think you do have to have both. You don't want just the traditional. You don't want just the new. That's like hybrid. I like hybrid. Mm-hmm. It's kind of combining two processes together to create something completely new.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. I just wanted you to say it because I'm supposed to be hosting the show, and I'm not here to just talk all day, but I 100% agree with you. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of kudos to you, Bonnie, and MC as well, and your team. Like Peter and everyone that's on part of your team has said, this is what we need to do. There is going to be a hybrid, Lonnie, as you say, of traditional to modern. And that, to me, as we have kind of nicknamed ourselves an invisible industry, but yet we make everything around us, how do we make it fun and entertaining and enjoyable and not just, well, we took a hunk of metal, we have grease and oil all over us, we have aluminum splinters in our fingers. How do we make it fun and exciting? And a lot of the thought leaders and influencers out there are doing that. So was it an easy decision to say we need to go this route? And once you made that decision, you got real creative. You have main stage stuff. You have after hours stuff. You have different cells where all these thought leaders are getting together to discuss. How was that process to bring it all together as well? Because we've been traditional. Was it 1927 when IMTS first started? So we're talking about almost 100 years at this point.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
That's wicked.
Yeah. So we've been talking about bringing more of like the influencers and because I mean it's still a new thing for manufacturing and how to bring in like the younger people who they might not have experience but they have knowledge, they have ideas. I mean we've been talking about having this sort of, I don't know if culmination isn't the right word, but how do you bring them in since probably 2016? So, and we really, 2020 would have been the time we did it, but then, we had COVID. So 22 was the first time we were really able to because we've always had the student summit, but then how do you bring these people that they know about manufacturing, but they have a voice and you want to hear them. Mm-hmm. And then how do you put that with, because it's also because we're a big international trade show and we have to be the best of the best and we have to stay the best of the best. So it's pairing up with people like you, and you're more than an influencer. I mean, you have a podcast, but you also have experience in the industry, and everybody does. But it's like that passion, and it's finding the right person with the right passion, with the right connection, and the partnerships. I mean, it really is. But we've been trying to do this for probably a good 8 years, and it's finally really kicked off to where we've got our creators lounge and we're able to have them go interview the leadership, get the conversations going, and then we've got our main stage with the the top tier people speaking. Like every 30 minutes we have people talking
every day
wow. For 6 days, and it's crazy because we've always had the main stage for a long time, but it's never been this busy. And we're so excited because people have so much to say. And we're ready. We want to get that voice out there. We want people to hear it, and we're just trying to scream it to the top of the roof.
And you guys have done a wonderful job as of late of documenting most of this through video as well. We just released one together actually, which I was very grateful for. Thank you for allowing me to do that. But you guys have started, which shows me that we want people to be at IMTS. We love, again, I'm going back to it, shaking hands, touching things, being there one-on-ones. But let's be fair, when I was a machinist, I never would have had the opportunity to go to IMTS. I was just a machinist, whether it was push button, line by line programming. Even when I was a manager, IMTS wasn't on my radar. That was for the higher ups to go make all the decisions. But we still wanted to see.
Yeah.
We still wanted to learn. And that's what all of this video that you're doing now as well really brings to the table. Lonnie, I want to go real quick into, because I asked both of these young ladies what they're excited about. You've been going to IMTS for a while. You mentioned creating a car right after a cup, which makes perfect sense. I'm sure in 2 years from now, you'll be making a plane or something. I'm not sure, but I'll challenge you. You'll probably say yes and you'll figure it out.
Oh, you just wait. He's got something cooking for 2026. It's going to be good.
We can't let the cat out of the bag yet,
Not
but
yet.
you already know?
Not yet.
No.
I just need to make sure I don't go to jail.
Oh, good. That sounds fun. Well, I'll join you in that project if you need help.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've definitely tiptoed that line before once or twice.
I don't know what it is yet either.
No, we don't.
Well, that's because he doesn't want you to go to jail.
He needs to tell us before we
will, we
release
will.
it on the Gunn Show.
We'll work.
Sorry.
We'll work it. We'll work it.
That's fair. Yeah, tell you first. That's fair. Surprise. So someone who's been in the technology for a long time and done some really incredible, let's just say participation in all things manufacturing. When you go to IMTS and you're looking for whatever it might be as the next step, what do you look for? What are you excited? I mean, I get excited about automation, 3D printing, these things I haven't personally had the machining experience of actually because I was more of a 3-axis, 5-axis machinist, right?
Yeah.
So I get excited. What do you like to see?
What I don't expect.
Yes.
What I don't expect. And that's with like the emerging technologies. It's like you were talking about Oak Ridge. I'm excited to see what they're doing. I have no clue. Even though I was there, I have no clue. I'm excited. Right. And so and that's why it's like you ask an MC, you're like, what are you excited about? And don't go in thinking that you're going to see everything. Look for those things you don't expect to see, because that's where there's huge opportunities. So that's what I'm excited to be excited. I'm excited to be surprised.
I like that.
And I want to
answer.
be surprised.
The machine hall that has all the big machines, and then even though this is my 6th IMTS, is the South Hall, which makes the opposite of that the North Hall, where the automation is going to be. I like that hall, and sneaking all the way into the back for Lonnie, what he was just saying, it's because some of those are startups. They're just getting their booths started, and you can sneak back there where the crowds aren't and learn something maybe nobody else has learned from the show. That's kind of cool to me as well.
Yeah, and well, that's because IMTS, it's a big show, so it's also, but you can still be big at a big show if you put a couple ads out there as an exhibitor. Like make sure that people get your name. Put some information on the website, because we have the My Show Planner and people search. And you put the right keywords in there of what you're trying to do, they'll pop up in the search. And because we're really limited to, this is what manufacturing technology is doing, and because we have a really good search tool on the website. So.
And the socials.
And the social.
Hashtag at IMTS 2024.
I love what you just said, though. Go in the back, look for the kids, because what you're looking for is the Steve Jobs, the Wozniaks. Who's got something that's an idea that's going to evolve over the next 3 to 5 years that could completely transform the industry?
It's there.
It's there.
Yeah,
it's
guaranteed.
There. So
if they're showing up to IMTS.
Yeah. And they're probably wearing blue jeans and scrappy shirts. And
booth is about the size of this studio.
Exactly. And they're stressed out, but they're on to something.
For sure.
They're on to
That's
something big.
the amazing part about it, right?
Yeah.
So, Christian, turn on your microphone. I'm going to throw you right under the bus. And then, MC, we're going to get to you in just a minute, just because I want to hear more of your voice and your laugh, because everyone accepted you. Everyone loves your laugh. Christian, you've heard us on this show talk about manufacturing a ton. Occasionally, I try to get your opinion because you're not a manufacturer and you love, MMA. You're, our sound producer here. You do a wonderful job at that. But let's pretend for a second that you were going to join me at IMTS this year, which is a manufacturing trade show, the largest in our country every 2 years.
Western Hemisphere.
Oh, Western Hemisphere. Well, large. Okay, she wins, per usual. Largest in the Western Hemisphere every 2 years. Based on all of the podcasting we've done together and all the stories being told, what, as an outsider, as we try to attract more and more people into our industry to fill this skills gap and labor shortage, what would you want to see?
Really anything robotic probably fascinates me. So like that little arm back there that we have on the set.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe
Yeah.
right
Little
here.
little
Fanic
Fanic robot over there.
So anything like that. I don't know if that answers your question, but
sure.
robotic
Totally
stuff
does.
is super interesting to
Yeah,
me.
and I would make the discussion also that you guys have done a wonderful job of growing and separating the automation area in the hall to make sure that they have a spotlight on them.
Yeah, and we worked hard to do that this year, because we wanted to feature them in an area because well, in automation for IMTS it's all over too.
Right.
I mean, because you've got that little Fanic robot, the big ones in the South Hall, but it's because that they're there for different regions besides automation too. So it's kind of why the exhibitors are there, but they bring their stuff. But yeah.
I agree, and a lot of the automation is, for example, like Akuma, good friend of ours, is going to have automation on their machines, whether it's from them or integrated from some, but it's on their booth all the time.
Right.
Christian, to your point, Fanic will be picking up cars again, like they do every
Super
2
cool.
years. Yeah, everyone runs over there, takes a video, it starts trending every year. The bigger robots do kind of shine a spotlight. MC, back to you again. Always a pleasure. Always so fun to
you.
talk with you.
Thank you.
But I love picking your brain because, much like Christian, Lonnie, you and I have been doing this a while. Bonnie, you and I, Bonnie. Why did I just recognize that's a
my
rhyme?
gosh,
Why did
I
that
didn't-
just happen?
I never recognized that.
Yeah.
But
Lonnie Bond.
But the reason I love asking you questions is because every time you answer, it allows me to understand people that are learning and how I can do a better job to attract people to a really awesome industry that has been ignored for a couple of generations. So folks like you and Christian being completely outside of it, you 3 years into it now, every answer allows me to go, okay, that's what I can do better. That's what I can do. This is how I need to speak to the younger generation. This is how we can attract more people. So I'm going to go back to you again. And as you build this up, the IMTS, your preparation is immediately, probably during the show actually, but I would say the day after the show is over, you're prepping for 2 years from now.
Yes.
When you're prepping, what goes through your mind of how you are going to create the next 2 years from now and what can be done to a more perfected sense or a larger plan, let's say?
Oh gosh.
I know this is unprepared, but
Well-
I'm very curious.
Well, I have one thing. Can I go back?
You may.
A couple things.
You can do whatever you
Okay.
want. This is
So,
your show.
When we were talking about the influencers, and this is just from, I see it now as I'm, aged out. But like how Lonnie said, Max is an influencer. I feel like the word influencer is for that generation, for the kids. And when we talk about, or people say influencers in our industry, I would pivot from that label because it's so much bigger than that. Like what people are doing in this industry and bringing that, and how Lonnie said, we bring the traditional with the new, and it's like a 360-degree mentorship. I feel like because
cool.
everyone is learning from, each generation is learning from one another, which doesn't always happen in that fluid of a way that I feel is happening in this industry now. So that was one. Okay, so 2026. So I would say, this is my plan if it works out. See what happens at this show. There's so many strong and just, I don't know, invaluable partnerships like we talked about before that we have leading into this show. And those don't go away. The way that AMT and IMTSC partnerships is not a one-year deal, a flash in the pan or that kind of thing. They're long-term. They're long-term relationships, long-term partnerships, friendships, all that, to just strengthen the industry. And what I'll do is, see what is going on, what happens at 2024, and where that launches us on to 2026. We do have, a couple other shows in 2025 that we've never had before. Formnext Chicago, which is additive manufacturing and bridging additive manufacturing with that industrial manufacturing base, which hasn't been done before. And that, looking at what's happening at this show this year, and additive sector, going into that. And then we also have SBS Atlanta. I'm not trying to do a promo for these. I'm just saying.
You're doing great though. If
I
you're not, yeah.
But again, that's automation. So looking at exactly what we're talking about, what is happening in automation and digitalization and additive and then machining. I mean, what is going on there? And with like talking with Okuma's doing. I mean, they've never done that hybrid cell. So I'll be out there, shaking hands and chatting. And
kissing
then,
babies, shaking hands, kissing babies.
Kissing babies, shaking hands.
She also, we were on
I'll
the
check it
plane
out.
ride here, and she's like, "What about this idea? What about this idea?" And I was like, "MC, no more ideas. Like, I'm like, we're too close. Like, I can't take any more." Like, she's already planning, and I'm like, "These all sound great." And the thing is, they're still good for 26. So, or we might do something in 25. So, but this girl's got like so many ideas. I was just like, woo. Okay.
Do you keep a notepad beside your bed when you can't sleep at night to jot these ideas down?
I have my phone, which I know you're not supposed to do. So then I put notes, or I'll send myself texts.
You text yourself.
I do. It works really well because sometimes if I put it in the notes, I'll forget. But if I text myself, I'm
Do you
like,
say, "Hey, it's me"?
I'm like, no. I know it's brilliance coming in.
You're like
I'm just kidding.
You're the Sybil of manufacturing, man.
Stop it. That's true. Not really.
You said that's true. That's true.
Not really.
She's not that crazy. She's not that crazy.
But thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank
So
you.
you can see our clock. We're starting to run down, but we still got a little bit of time. So what I want to do right now is take a moment, and I'm going to join you guys in this as well because I get very, very excited about IMTS. I mean, you have something to say, Bonnie. I like that.
Well, I just want Lonnie. I did this before. I want Lonnie to tell the story of because this is about IMTS and talking about why do people come to IMTS? Why should you come? I want Lonnie to tell in a short way what IMTS did for Oak Ridge National Laboratories and the manufacturing demonstration facility.
That was actually going to be the closing thing. Was why should people come? But yeah, well done.
Well,
We should change seats. I think we should.
It's a Bonnie Lonnie takeover.
No, I think, so coming from a national lab, you usually are very structured. You're going one step at a time, advancing a technology. And I think when we printed the car with Local Motors in Cincinnati, I had a colleague, Scott Smith, that said, it enabled us to do the audacious. What we did,
that word.
we actually said, we're going to commit to doing something. We don't know how we're going to do it, and we're going to do it in front of a lot of people. And we had leadership that was okay with that. We had leadership at IMTS, at AMT, leadership at Oak Ridge, and it really changed my whole perspective in terms of even research and manufacturing. It's like, instead of going incrementally, just shoot way out there. Go for the gusto, shoot for the moon, and you're not going to get there. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll learn a lot along the way, and we did. And that one demonstration, as I said earlier, there were like 7 companies that adopted the technology, that stepped forward and started doing it. And to me, it completely changed not just manufacturing, and it changed Oak Ridge, it changed the way that Department of Energy looked at manufacturing. That 1 week was magical. And that's what, to me, IMTS is about.
Should we just end it? I mean,
No, we still have
I don't think we can say anything more important than that. That was amazing,
we
Lonnie.
can say things. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, he's told the story before, and I hadn't looked at it from that perspective because, I've been working at IMTS for many, many years, and I'm the one that's able to like open doors for people to do different things. And the most stressful one was doing the 3D printed car because, me intaking all the information. And it's like, well, we're going to do this. We're going to try that. A lot of things that didn't happen, but we just kept adjusting. And IMTS is able to do that because I think we have a solid base of what the show is. So we have this one area where we can do the Emerging Technology Center, and we can, and play isn't the right word, but we can allow the technology to be like, this is what it is. And if it had failed, it wouldn't have been as amazing, but it still would have been incredibly cool to be like, look what we did. So, and Peter will be like, as Lonnie said, I might get fired. We might get fired. I'm like, I think Peter's going to fire me. But, it was, if you don't put it out there, and IMTS is a great way to do it. And if you don't go, you're not going to see it. And it's not the same on video. And we also talk about like bringing the team to IMTS, like, spending time, especially if you're driving in, like, let your people come, because it's an amazing experience, and you never know who's going to have an idea. And that's where, it's a great
That's
place.
where the magic comes in.
Yeah, that's where the magic happens.
Well, let me add one kind of closing comment on that. When we did that, it started getting us thinking differently, the Department of Energy thinking differently, and we were synthesizing, we were creating crises, right? We were just creating a crisis. Yeah, sure, we'll print a car live in front of 120,000 people. What the hell? Yeah, sure, we'll print an excavator in front of 120,000 people. What the hell? And then COVID hit. COVID was a bad time, and we had a major manufacturing supply chain problem. And in a 3-month period, and it gets to partnerships, we had 16 labs working together, hundreds of companies. We stood up a whole new supply chain for N95. I remember walking with Craig, my colleague Craig Blue, and he's like, hey, and it was magical. He goes, hey, did you know the inventor of N95 is from Knoxville? I was like, no. He goes, yeah, his name's Peter Sy. I was like, God, that name rings a bell. And I go home, and I'm talking to my wife. I was like, name Peter Sy mean anything to you? And she goes, he's our neighbor.
Stop it.
No lie, no lie. So we pull Peter in, we convert our carbon fiber production line to make an N95. Then Cummins comes in and go, hey, we got an air filter production line. Can you help us convert it over to N95? Sure, what the hell? And then Dematec, a company down in Florida, Craig gets hooked up with them, and we're sending them materials. We're going from nothing to 1 million masks a day. The other one that was funny was the guy at HHS calls me up on a Friday and goes, hey, we got a crisis. The White House is saying that we have 500,000 test kits in the United States per week. We need to scale to 20 million as fast as possible. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, can you help? I was like, absolutely, sure. I'm like, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. That's on a Friday. Sunday, my phone explodes. And I'm like, what the hell? It's got the lab director, people from DOE, and I got my buddy Craig. And Craig, I got like all these calls. What the hell's going on? He goes, did you tell somebody we were going to make 20 million test tubes a week? I was like, no, I said we would help. He goes, well, Trump just got on the White House. He's doing his press conference. He says Oak Ridge is going to make 20 million test tubes a week. Isn't that awesome? He goes, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't know what we're going to do. Monday, we have a meeting. It's like, what the hell are we going to do, guys? I don't know what we're going to do. And one of my colleagues, Brian Post, goes, have you ever seen a Coke bottle preform? I'm like, no. He goes, it looks just like a test tube. And we pull it up, and it's like, holy shit, that looks like a test tube. All right, so who do we know that can get us up as high as possible in the C-suite of Coca-Cola? Well, it ends up Dave Nuttall is my head of operations. And he goes, my wife is head of HR for Coca-Cola. I was like, you got it. By afternoon, I'm talking to Dave Katz, the COO of Coca-Cola, and within a week, they're delivering 10 million test tubes. 10 million.
Wow.
That's the supply chain. That's partnerships. That's manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's to me, manufacturing saved, and partnerships and the government and industry working together saved millions of lives during COVID. We just don't know it. We just don't know it. And it was because we got used to doing crazy shit.
At
right?
IMTS.
At
yeah,
IMTS.
For 120,000 people.
Be fearless.
You got, yeah, be fearless.
Be fearless.
Yeah, you
Be
might have
fearless.
never done that.
No, never would have done it. Wouldn't agree to do it.
Yeah.
But it was because of IMTS
Yeah.
that we had the audacity and the courage to say, yeah, we'll try it.
Hey everybody, Mike Franz here with Shop Floor Coffee. For 20 years, we've been seeing the same issues going on with workforce development and the shortage in workers across the industry. We wanted a way to give back. Shop Floor Coffee is our way to do that. Proceeds from every bag or every type of coffee you buy from us go back to the community. We work with amazing programs and initiatives across the country where we're giving back. We want to help support the community. Come together with us. Join us in this effort to help support the community. Please, thank you very much.
Well, I got two things from this. One is, was it really somebody called and said we're doing 500,000, we need 20 million?
No.
You're like, we could probably help with that. And then the next day, Trump's on television saying,
No,
we're doing it. Was it really just like that?
No, it was really like that. It was Rachel Kellogg from Health and Human Services calls me up on Friday. I'm like, sure, we can do that. Sunday, I'm out hiking with my wife. I leave my phone behind, and it's gone absolutely crazy. And I call Craig, and he goes, what did you say? He goes, did you tell somebody we're going to make 20 million test tubes a week? No, I didn't say that. Well, we're on the hook. Got to find a solution.
That's what she heard.
Got to find a solution. So yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing that for us.
No, but also.
Can you 3D print a car? I sure can.
Sure, what
Can
the
you
hell?
make 20 million? Yes, I sure can. You're a yes guy, I can
I
tell.
am a yes guy. I am a yes guy because, you have a good team. You have a good team and you trust people.
Well, the second part of that I was going to bring up was I don't even want to do anything else but listen to you tell stories for us today. Can you just tell us a bunch of stories for like the next hour or something like that?
Oh, he sure can. They are so good.
My job is to get everyone involved, but I've just decided I want you to tell stories.
I will say, Tony, and this is, but AMT does have a video podcast with Dr. Lonnie Love and Dr. Tom Kerfus. It's very different from the Gun Show. Very different. But if people want to hear them, they have.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to hear
amazing
it?
stories. You can find it at IMTS Plus.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Send us a link.
Tom and Lonnie chat.
Tom and Lonnie chat.
TLC.
TLC.
So,
It's also on the.
It's not as good as this. It's just a bunch of old engineers complaining.
Kyle's young.
Kyle is young. Kyle is
Kyle's
he balances us. Yeah, he
We're young
balances
at heart.
well, and you guys have great stories. But I will say, I do want to say, because Lonnie and I were at, is it West Tech? Was it 2019? 2017. And it was pre-COVID, and he just tells these stories, and I'm like, we've got to get you on a podcast. I need to do something with you and your stories and your technology and all the stuff you can say. And then, lo and behold, we started this TLC thing.
COVID hit, and then it was Spark, right?
But it was like, it was one of those, like, you asked about influencers. How long does it take to create something? 8 years. It's, 4 years later. It's like, and of course, Lonnie, we're standing in line at the buffet. Like, I got to figure out how to get you like a podcast thing. Because podcasts weren't that, they were still new then,
Sure.
especially in manufacturing. We had probably one maybe. But, so it takes a while to come up with these ideas. Like, you got an idea, but maybe it takes 4 years to figure out how to implement it. But it's been great having them do their podcast. And the two of them are so smart. And Kyle.
Good. Kyle Selby.
Lonnie, if it makes you feel any better, the last time I had these two young ladies on my show, they took over. I wasn't even on the show. In fact, there was two other young ladies, 4 seats, all women. I wasn't even on my own show.
No, you just let them. It's
Manufacturing.
it's like Duke basketball. Just roll the ball out and let them play. They're fine. They're fine. Let them play. They're fine.
I mean, I said go Tigers, Clemson, but Duke's.
That's fine. That's fine.
I will say I had a lady that I worked with, and her uncle was the head coach for Duke in the 90s.
Whoa.
Yeah. She used to go to the games all the time.
Yeah.
That's when they picked
her
that
uncle
all the
isn't
time.
Coach K.
Krzyzewski.
Yeah, that's who he was.
Coach K.
Coach K.
Wait, but what?
Jordan.
That's your friend's uncle is Coach K?
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
What?
Wait, this is
Yeah.
All right, we
this is
just
a whole,
did a
okay,
big
that's a whole other
Back in the
wavelength.
90s. That was, I'm old.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Your friend's
you're not
uncle is
old.
Coach
What?
K?
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
He's
you
a
know-
legend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an inspiration.
Yes.
The bear talks about him.
Yeah.
I love the bear.
I never met him, but
Well,
she used to go to the games all the time. She would,
Can we get him on the podcast?
probably not.
I mean, never know.
If you say it out loud,
Hey,
it's-
3D printed basketball, baby.
Hey, we got Lonnie on
We
here.
can
Who
get 'em
knows?
on.
Yeah, you never know.
Those are going out
Give
like
it a shot.
all
Give
over.
it a shot.
Give it a shot, pun intended. I was going to add one thing. Also with and now I can't remember where it started, but it was just all about the audacious and everything that goes on. And for my 3 years here at AMT and IMTS, leadership. I mean, it comes from brave people like Bonnie and this one here. And it comes from our top leadership of Peter Edelman, Doug Woods, pushing those boundaries and being excited about it. And I think on the other podcast when we were here with you a few months ago, I talked about my career in ski and snowboard and my former president there, David Ingemin. And he was, it's a different industry, ski and snowboard. We had a global trade show, and he was the same. It's very similar, just, open to it, excited about it. And he had this saying that I'm not going to repeat because it's kind of a terrible saying, but it was like, if it fails, it fails. We learn. And I feel very much, being at AMT, that it comes from the top, and it's there, and it is, the changes even just with the, from IMTS 2022 to 2024, it's pretty cool. And like Bonnie said, I mean, and Lonnie said, and you, I mean, be there, and leave time to go find what you don't expect, because it's magical.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all of it. Two things I picked up from today from all three of you. One was going to the show for 6 days changed the way the industry did things. That was just highlighted so profoundly, and that is what can be done at a show like this. And then Bonnie and MCU just reiterated as well, come to the show. We are making videos because it's mathematically impossible for everyone to be there, even though we'd love to have everyone there. But if you can, come to the show. Don't make an excuse of, well, my flight ticket's too much. Well, you're going to make more. You're going to figure something out that you haven't been able to figure out before.
Sure.
You know, take a little time off from work. Be there in person. You know, we hear sometimes silly excuses, sometimes legitimate excuses. But if it's just an excuse, figure it out. Figure out how to be there. It could change the way something is done within 6 days. So I want to play a couple of games. You ladies and guys have done a wonderful job today. We have 2 truths and a lie. We have Would You Rather, and we're going to do rapid fire. So no thought behind that one. Just say whatever comes to mind. MC, should I skip you for 2 truths and a lie? Or Lonnie,
I would say yes. I was trying to practice, but it's not working.
It's not that hard.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Lonnie, you chose this game, 2 truths and a lie. You've already told all stories that I wouldn't know if they were true or not true
these are all
already. Yeah, well, so Trump was on TV after I said, yeah, maybe.
That's true.
Right. So 2 truths and a lie from you, but you can't use anything you've already used.
Sure.
Aliens.
Yeah, we got some aliens. Truth or lie?
2 truths,
Yeah,
1
so
lie. We got to guess.
I designed and printed a titanium robotic hand, hydraulic, that gave you the thumbs up if you pressurized it right away. We 3D printed a Shelby Cobra in 6 days, or in 6 weeks. Designed, printed, assembled, and Obama and Biden got to see it. And we developed a process where we used bacterial poop to make quantum dots.
Do you know these stories already? You guys spend a lot of time together, right?
Yeah, I know,
We know
a
them.
few of them.
Yeah. So you know this answer already, Bonnie?
I think I still
Yes.
have to guess on. I think I still have to guess. but
Yeah?
Yes, I know some of it.
I
MC?
know it.
Do you know?
Yes.
You weenie. No, you don't.
I'm going to say the first one was a lie.
Which one? The hand?
It's a thumbs up thing.
That's good, because it gave you the finger.
Of course it did. And why
I got a
wouldn't
video.
it?
I got a video because that was in hydraulics. It's like electric, right? Least resistance in this hydraulic hand had a pump in the hand, and the least resistance went to the middle finger. And I haven't released this, so there's a lot of
Till
videos.
now.
Till now, but I got a video where I pressurize it and it flips the bird. Now, what's interesting is that was around 2009, 2010, and again, my buddy Craig, he said, "Hey, the White House." The Secretary of Energy wants something really cool that the Obama administration can use to show where manufacturing is going. So we gave it to, I think it was Ernie Moniz at the time, who then, so I don't know if Obama still has this, or if he even knows that if you pressurize it, it'll flip the bird. But it's out there somewhere.
Oh, he knows.
He
don't
probably
even know
This is
where
what
it
I
is?
think of that
Yes.
idea.
What does this do? Awesome.
Now that will get Max and his friends all in.
I've got the video.
Manufacturing.
I've got the video somewhere. I'll give it
That's
to you.
great.
11 years old, you said?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly. Right up there.
Bonnie, do you want to do 2 truths and a lie, or would you like to skip that game this time?
I have a dare for you.
Oh, gosh, that's right. Oh, gosh. And we're doing this so everyone can know the dare, so I'm either a sissy or I have to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is strategically done.
Do you need me to tell you how truth or dare works?
Oh, no. Between that and spin the bottle in 6th
I would
grade.
say go back to 6th grade, my friend. 7 minutes and heaven's in a bottle.
Yeah.
Although we just sat in a closet for that one.
Yeah, that didn't everyone?
No, exactly. That was good.
All right, what's my dare?
Okay, so on your videos, you're always dancing and having a lot
Got
of fun.
some grooves.
Got some movement going on.
For better
So-
or worse?
So what I would dare you to do is to get a group of people to go dance down the aisle of IMTS with you, and we get it on videotape.
Yeah.
I think I know a group of people would be willing to do that.
So
I could probably
They
get
gotta have
together
gotta have a good
about a
hip
dozen
swagger.
folks.
With some, yeah.
You got to have some drinks beforehand.
Yeah, that's
Then it
gonna-
makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
So we
Well,
can't
you could
start
do
the
it-
day
you
dancing
could-
down the hallway.
You could do it in the afternoon. We could have like a well, after maybe one of the receptions.
Yeah.
Or at the beginning of one. Yeah.
Do you have a hall preference?
We can figure out what hall might make sense depending on where you are. Because I know that you've got interviews all
We
during
can
the
come
day.
to you.
So you can let us know. You can let us know which one works.
All right, so for anyone
Will you
watching,
plan it out?
listening right now, we've now been dared to dance down the halls of IMTS. And you know I'm a yes man, just like my buddy Lonnie over here. So we're going to figure out how to do it. If you would like to participate in this and you're watching or listening to this podcast, leave a comment, shoot me a text, send me an email. We'll get a time together. We'll get a day together. We'll get a hall together. And we're going to create a fun dancing IMTS video. We're going to do it.
And you're gonna have
Don't make me do it by myself.
you got to make your own music too.
Like in our heads?
Well, we could,
What about
we
like
could-
80s boombox style?
have a boombox.
Oh, I have a JVC one that my dad bought in New York City in 1980.
Can you pack it with some batteries, bring me a tape, and let's, you got some
Yeah, I got it.
Run DMC or something? I don't know.
Yes. Oh yes.
You might want to make sure it still works. It probably does, though.
Yeah. Oh,
Your
sure.
dad
It's a
probably.
JVC. Yeah.
No,
They always work.
They always work. Yeah. Easy electronic. I will say that I have driven the Shelby.
Have
Because
you?
it was at IMTS, and I got to drive it off the Shelby.
It's cool.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
And wait, where is it again? It's in.
It's
the,
in DOE. It's at DOE's headquarters.
in the lobby.
Yeah,
in
you know what's
DC.
funny? This is another one that's really funny because as we're doing this, it was 6 weeks. First week we do the design.
After the Stratty
Yeah,
was
it was
one.
2 weeks later, or about a month later.
Yeah.
We were
You
told.
did it at the other show.
Yeah, no, we just did it because we knew Obama and Biden were coming, and I was told make something cool.
Did
and
you do
so,
it for the other show?
No,
Oh, okay,
no.
good. Okay,
and
good.
so we were told do something cool. We got 6 weeks, and it was like okay, because they asked, can we get the Stratty? I was like, I can't get it, and
They wouldn't give it to you?
I didn't want it because I want to make my own
Oh,
car.
oh.
Oh,
There's
well,
your lie.
Oh, that's a lie. And Jay's gonna hate me for it. Jay is gonna hate me for
He's
it.
fine. You got on the Today Show.
But we had 6 weeks, and so the first week we do the design because our schedule is design it 1 week, print it the second week, assemble it the third week, figure out how the hell to paint it the fourth and fifth week, and then sixth week get it on a dyno and get it under control. So first week we're doing the design, and I'm presenting. First off we decided to do a design competition to see who's the coolest car designer. And after day 3, it was like we
Carroll Shelby.
all suck. Yeah, let's get Carroll Shelby. He's a hell of a lot better. So we start printing. Well, first off, one of our transportation guys goes, "You can't print that." I was like, "What do you mean I can't print it?" He goes, "It's copyrighted." I was like, "I don't give a shit. I'm a government. We can do whatever the hell we want." And then I'm thinking, I'm going to go to jail for this one. So we start printing it, and my head of safety goes, "Hey, this guy John Shashowski," and John goes, "Hey, are you printing a Shelby?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Can I take a picture?" I was like, "Sure, I don't care." And he comes back, he goes, "My brother-in-law really wants to drive this car. My brother-in-law really wants to drive this car." I was like, "Who the hell is your brother-in-law?" No
No.
lie. It was Bob Bondurant.
I thought
Bob
you were saying Carroll
Bondurant.
Shelby.
No, but Bob Bondurant was a race car driver for Carroll Shelby, and he drove the Cobra in 1964. I was like, "Your brother-in-law is so going to drive this car." And we brought him in. And let him drive it. And he's like 84 at the time, and he gets in the car, and it's like we're doing 80 through the parking lot. I'm like, "Sir, this is a plastic car." He's like, "I haven't killed anybody yet." I was like, so yeah, it was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. But it gets that audacious. Just try
is.
something.
It's awesome. It is amazing.
Well, I have one plug on that.
Oh, do
for
you?
IMTS, yes.
Yeah?
Because Dr. Lonnie Love, Bonnie
Dr.
Gurney,
Love.
Rick Neff, Jay Rogers, and Brian Post are going to be on the main stage with Gary Vasilish for an interview conversation about 3D printing the Audacious.
What time, what day?
Oh, really?
I know.
I think it's Thursday. It's Thursday afternoon. Thursday morning.
We need to figure that out. That sounds
go
amazing.
Go to imts.com
There it is.
stages and look at the main stage. I'll show you that.
IMTS.com/stages.
It's incredible.
That's
yeah.
because we have everything every 30 minutes.
Yeah,
We
it'd be
have
tough to
amazing
memorize it all.
presentations. It's really great. So it's never been so busy on the main stage.
It's really
I'm so
great.
excited.
It's really great.
Great.
It is. It is.
Where's your rapid fire?
Oh gosh.
I think we're over time.
No.
We are.
Oh,
I'll
come
give
on.
you each one.
Yeah,
I'll
each
give
one.
you each 2 rapid fires. How about that? And then we're done. Because
Yeah,
we're
okay.
we're well over time. But I don't
Yeah,
care.
we're gonna keep
Christian, do you
going.
care? Or, He doesn't care at all. Christian's a good man. He loves hearing Lonnie's stories as well.
Oh, you know what? We actually didn't like. Can we get one clip of what Donnie, Lonnie,
Yeah.
and Bonnie, what Lonnie?
Yay, tequila.
No. What Lonnie is doing now at Sandia? If he can talk about it, I don't know. It's
We can
probably
talk about some of it.
or maybe not. But he's at
No.
he's at Sandia.
No,
now.
so Sandia is awesome. It's just the opposite of Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is a great science lab and really focused on kind of next generation manufacturing technologies. Sandia is an engineering lab. So we're looking at how do you take these manufacturing technologies and use them for national security. So it's blast. I mean, hypersonics is wicked cool. All kinds of, we're making satellites and working with companies like SpaceX and Divergent. It's a blast. So it's different.
And
So
aliens.
tell me the details.
You can't.
I know.
Bury you in the desert.
Worth it. Worth it.
It really is. So I would tell you, it's really cool. I was in Monterey with another fellow. This guy.
California or Mexico?
California.
Okay.
And somebody said, we're in this exercise, and somebody says, what could Sandia do to have the world a little bit more stable? Deter our adversaries from doing crazy stuff. And this guy that was one of my colleagues said, he just described, we could just make public. We're exercising. We're trying this. Just make public. And everybody in the room goes, oh, that would be bad. That would make everybody stop. And that was like, that's awesome. That is influence. We're talking about being influencers. We're trying just to influence that we still retain a world where everybody is working together and not creating these terrible borders that we see with what can happen. So I absolutely love it. It's the mission is inspirational. Leveraging partnerships is inspirational. So having a fun time.
I don't even have anything better to say, honestly. All I want to do is just hear you tell stories. I don't even, my voice is unneeded today for one of the first times, and I'm very grateful for that. I love listening to you tell stories, Lonnie. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for coming down to Florida and spending time with us. Bonnie and MC, thank you both for
Thank you so much.
and making the introduction and then joining me again for a third one. You're such a blessing in my life. I appreciate you both very much. Do you want to do a rapid fire or you want me to close this out?
No, let's
Try-
do a
we'll
rapid
try
fire.
a rapid fire.
I
But
want
you
to
got to start with MC.
No.
Because I got to see how it goes.
I want to see if I can do it.
I don't know. Well, don't start with me.
Okay, fine. Go.
Yeah, okay, let me see if I can find one for you. Let's see here. Quality control, art or science?
Both.
Okay, good answer.
You say myth.
Myth. Zero waste manufacturing, achievable or utopian?
Oh, absolutely achievable.
Ooh.
Ah,
All
for
right,
sure.
Lonnie.
Some of it's going on now.
Is space manufacturing the next frontier?
Nah.
Biodegradable materials, solution or stopgap?
Solution.
All right, Bonnie. Big data and manufacturing, gold mine or minefield?
I think with time it'll be a gold mine.
Cobots, helpers or hazards?
Helpers.
That's right. All right. We have done it. Thank you all for
Awesome.
being here on the
Thank you.
show. Thank you all for watching, listening, wherever you are today. We appreciate your time. Time is the one thing we cannot manufacture more of. And you have had 3 of my favorite guests ever on this show. Christian, thank you for being exactly who you are as well. And my editing team at MTDCNC, thank you for doing everything that you do to make us look with less gray hair, a little thinner. I'm not sure how you do that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. This is The Gunn Show. And join us again next week for another amazing episode.